Cisco 200-301 CCNA exam practice questions with explanations are available in the video for you to study. What is the most effective solution to mitigate password attacks when an attacker has captured the system administrator's password in clear text? A. Deploy a next-generation firewall to perform stateful packet inspection. B. Implement multi-factor authentication using two independent authentication factors. C. Configure ACLs to restrict incoming telnet sessions to admin accounts. D. Deploy an intrusion prevention system, IPS, with a block list of known attack vectors. The answer is B. If an attacker has sniffed a clear text password, it means the password is already compromised. The best defense is to ensure that knowing the password alone is not enough to gain access. Multi-factor authentication, MFA, introduces a second layer, e.g., a token, mobile app, or biometric, that the attacker likely doesn't have. Option A, NGFW, and Option D, IPS, are useful for general protection but don't solve the problem of credential compromise. Option C, ACL on Telnet, is weak because Telnet transmits data unencrypted. SSH should be used instead. Which two characteristics differentiate fiber optic cabling from copper cabling? Choose two. A. Fiber is typically less expensive than copper patch cables. B. Fiber is more sensitive to temperature and moisture changes. C. Fiber supports higher data throughput options. D. Fiber can transmit data over longer distances. E. Fiber supports longer distance electrical power delivery for PoE devices. The answer is CD. C. Throughput. Fiber optic cables offer much higher bandwidth and support faster data rates than copper cables. D. Distance. Fiber can carry data much farther than copper without degradation, often over kilometers. A. False. Fiber is usually more expensive than copper, especially for patch cables. B. False. Fiber is generally less sensitive to electromagnetic interference, though it can be physically fragile. E. False. Fiber does not carry electrical current, so it cannot deliver PoE, power over Ethernet. PoE works only with copper cabling. A network administrator wants a syslog server to sort incoming log messages into different files based on their importance level, such as critical, warning, or informational. Which syslog field should be used for this filtering? A. Level. B. Message body. C. Process ID. D. Facility. The answer is A. The level field in a syslog message indicates the severity or importance of the event, e.g., emergency, alert, critical, warning, info, debug. This is the most appropriate criterion for filtering messages based on how serious or urgent they are. B. Message body contains free text data, not reliable for systematic filtering. C. Process ID identifies the process that generated the message, not related to importance. D. Facility indicates the source of the message, like kernel, mail, auth, not the severity. Which alternative to traditional password authentication is commonly used in enterprises to allow devices to securely authenticate to the corporate network? A. Magic links. B. One-time passwords, OTPs. C. Digital certificates. D. 90-day password renewal policies. The answer is C. Digital certificates are widely used in enterprise environments, e.g., with 802.1x and EAPTLS, to authenticate devices without needing a username and password. Certificates provide strong, mutual authentication, and are more secure than passwords. A. Magic links, common in web apps for users, not for device authentication. B. OTPs, used for user-based MFA, not ideal for automated device logins. D. 90-day renewal policies, these are password policies, not an alternative authentication method. Which mechanism enables WPA3 to offer stronger security compared to previous Wi-Fi security protocols like WPA2? A. Support for special characters in pre-shared keys. B. C. Simultaneous authentication of equals, password-based key exchange. C. Automatic device pairing. D. Certificate-based authentication. The answer is B. C replaces the older PSK, pre-shared key, method used in WPA2. C provides forward secrecy and is more resistant to offline dictionary attacks, making WPA3 significantly more secure. A. Special character support, not a new feature or a security enhancement specific to WPA3. C. Automatic device pairing, not relevant to WPA3 security mechanisms. D. Certificate-based authentication, used in WPA2, WPA3 Enterprise, but not the key differentiator for WPA3 Personal. Why would a network administrator choose Cisco DNA Center for automated lifecycle management? A. To perform upgrades without service interruption. B. To enable fast and accurate deployment of patches and updates. C. To allow SSH access to all network devices. D. To provide software redundancy in the network. The answer is B. Cisco DNA Center provides automation and centralized management, enabling streamlined software image management, patch deployment, and policy-based updates across the network. It reduces manual effort, ensures consistency, and minimizes errors in device upgrades. A. Not always guaranteed. Some upgrades may still cause interruptions depending on hardware. C. SSH access is not the core function of DNA Center. D. Software redundancy is more related to device architecture, not DNA Center's role. When multiple virtual machines, VMs, run on the same hypervisor, which physical component is shared among them? A. External storage. B. Hardware resources. C. Network interfaces. D. Backplane network. The answer is B. A hypervisor virtualizes the physical hardware resources, CPU, memory, disk, etc., of a host and distributes them among multiple VMs. Each VM thinks it has its own hardware, but in reality, they share the same physical hardware. A. External storage. Not inherently shared unless configured, e.g., SAN. C. Network interfaces. VMs may share virtual NICs, but it's part of the virtual network setup. D. Backplane network. This term applies more to switches, routers, not to VM environments. A network engineer is deploying a new wireless LAN and has already configured the authentication server and created a dynamic interface. What is the next essential step to complete the basic WLAN setup? A. Install the management interface and assign a management IP address. B. Configure high availability and redundancy for the access points. C. Enable telnet and radius access on the management interface. D. Create the WLAN and bind it to the dynamic interface. The answer is D. After setting up the authentication server, e.g., radius, and dynamic interface, which defines VLAN and IP settings, the next key step is to create the WLAN, SSID, and associate it with the dynamic interface so that clients can connect to the correct network segment. A. Management interface is usually pre-configured and not part of WLAN setup. B. HA is important but not part of basic WLAN configuration. C. Enabling telnet is a security risk. SSH is preferred, and this step is unrelated to WLAN setup. What are two valid reasons to enable port fast on a switch port that is connected to an end host? Choose 2. A. To limit the number of MAC addresses learned on the port. B. To protect the port from being affected by topology changes. C. To allow the port to enter the forwarding state immediately when the host boots. D. To prevent the port from participating in full spanning tree protocol, STP, operations. E. To block other switches or hosts from connecting to the port. The answer is CD. C. Port fast allows ports to skip STP listening and learning states and go directly to the forwarding state, reducing connection time for end devices like PCs and printers. D. Port fast is designed specifically for access ports connected to end hosts, which should not participate in STP calculations. This speeds up port activation and avoids unnecessary topology recalculations. A. MAC address limitation is controlled by port security, not port fast. B. Port fast does not protect from topology changes. It actually avoids triggering them. E. Port fast doesn't block communication. It's about faster port activation. Which best practice should be followed when implementing password protection? A. Use passwords shorter than 8 characters if they are complex. B. Store passwords as contacts on a mobile device protected by single-factor authentication. C. Include special characters and make passwords as long as allowed. D. Share passwords with senior IT management for oversight. The answer is C. Strong password policies recommend using long passwords with a mix of special characters, uppercase, lowercase, and numbers to increase complexity and reduce the risk of brute force attacks. A. Passwords shorter than 8 characters are weak, even if complex. B. Storing passwords on mobile devices without strong multi-factor authentication is insecure. D. Sharing passwords, even with management, violates security best practices.